in, thank you. So when you come in, if you're going to eat, first thing you do, you can go and eat. Don't come and check in, don't come and sign in, go eat. Go to the north end of the building, go ahead and get your food, exit through the north end of the building, and then come around to this area and check yourself in, okay? If you have campers, obviously you go and you will check them in at the main gate. We are not having registration check-in indoors this year to keep that area spread out because of how cluttered and clustered it can get in that space. We will be having check-in right outside the main doors. So we will have tents set up because 5:30, I realized today when I was kind of walking through that, I'm like, that is gonna be hot. And that sun is right on you at that time of day. So we will have that set up right outside the doors there. You can check your kids in and then you come around. You're not coming in with your kid and then cutting through. I'm gonna be I'm gonna have people out there being like the hall monitor. You're like, no. Yeah. Jeremy, can you do that for me? I'll make sure you're listening. So, for those that don't know, Jeremy's the pastor of the church, so that's fine, yeah. So yeah, just very important, obviously, for the safety of everybody. It keeps everything flowing. You know, we don't have people running around here, there, and everywhere through these hallways. We will then, 5:15. That's the nice thing. You come in these doors, you can come straight in here. Get your name tag and stay. 5:15 is when we will all get together before camp and meet. If there's any announcements, any things that we need to know going forward for the night, we will pray and get everybody riled up, and then we will send you out to go and do what we are here to do. So, so what doors do we go in? What is it titled? The children's, is it B? Is that the letter on it? A is the main ones.
So this would be B.
This is B. Door B. Volunteers check in at door B. You do not go into A. You come into B. Okay? Any questions on that? Y'all are laughing at me like she's not. Yeah, I've had a year, 2 years to think about all these things. So, you know, I'm trying to figure out how we're going to spread this out so we could have this year. You just got to roll with it. So, let me see where we're at now. All right. I am going to touch base on, for those that are in a sport, there was a sign there, Coach's Study Guide, okay? Inside of that is a schedule, and for those that are not in a sport, the schedules are on the tables. You guys can kind of see how the night flows and what we will be doing. So campers, when they arrive, they will be coming in through the main doors and going into the gym. I will have a few what I call bouncers in there. Those are the only volunteers I want in there though. I don't need everybody else in there. You guys will be in here waiting for 5:15 at the huddle. So campers will get registered, they go in, and we all come together with excitement and the energy that's been building up now for 2 years to get this rally started for sports camp. When we are in there, we have like I said, these are the times that everybody is together. And then Ross and Hannah and our dance team will lead some songs, and then they have, on the opening rally, I'm not sure what all they go over, just some of the things that we're going to talk about throughout the week, because later on in as you'll see, a halftime rally and a Bible time rally. That is when the other rallies, they go through and they do a sports story, and then they will go ahead and do the Bible story. So those, like I said, rallies are when we are all together. Now, then you will depart and it goes to sports session 1. The kids will exit, go to their sports. Excitement, lots of excitement. I know we can't all be like in each other's faces like we have been in the past. So when we get outside, we can do some of the, high fives. We will have hand sanitizer stands everywhere. So, but we still want to do what we can. Lots of fist bumps, lots of elbow bumps, everything we can do to get everybody going and jonesing for camp and just to have fun. So the good and the bad, obviously we have had camp numbers in the years past up to almost 200 kids. We capped it this year at 100 so we could keep our spacing. So it's going to be more intimate in a way. I mean, so you'll be able to build and have some of those relationships and those interactions with these kids this week that will be a very lasting. I mean, this could be for some of these kids the only Jesus they see. So just letting them know how loved they are and just the excitement and what we are here for, keeping that in mind every time you are around them is key. So if you don't like to get all excited and smile, I'm sure I can find someone that can help you do that. I don't know who, because Justin won't be here this year. Tamara, no. Tell him we will miss him for that. During the halftime rally, there will be a snack. So we do feed the kids since they're here all night. And you guys will get one as well. So we won't make you guys go without. And then they go back to their sports stories. The coaches' huddles are what these little books are for. For those that are in a sport, the coaches' huddles are when you guys will spend time with the kids in a small group. So what I would like you to do is take this with you tonight. I will have more the week of camp, so if you forget it, but take it with you and read through it. The first page gives you a great way of preparing yourself for camp and some of these conversations that you might have with the kids. It'll give you an idea to be prepared for when you sit down with the kids. Coming up, maybe if it tells you, give some examples, that'll give you some time to think through some things now ahead of time so you're not caught off guard when you sit down that day. And so this is kind of like a little lifeline for you guys when you are in your huddles. So please take those, read them. If you have any questions or anything as you go through it, let me know. I know that everybody has figured out ways to communicate with me as I have with you. So please feel free. Don't ever be scared to reach out and ask me a question with anything. Does anybody have any questions for me? No? No? Okay. You should all be happy. I'm not going to make you guys learn a song tonight. Times past to make you all get up and dance. They're like, oh, do we have to? No, tonight you don't have to. But, because I'd want to see what you guys would do from home though. Maybe I should have had them do that. Make them do it and we can watch them. That's what, yes, thank you. Thank you, Pat. Pastor Jeremy's doing the YMCA right now. So, okay. One other thing. So I talked about the excitement. When we are in the rallies with the kids, you guys need to learn and pay attention to the songs that they are teaching you from the stage as well. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I gotta tell you, okay, Creed is, his younger brother plays soccer with my stepson. So where I've done my Zoom meetings online for the last few weeks, announcements from soccer fields, we're watching them play. And so I roped him into being our head soccer coach this year because he also plays soccer. And his mom and I kind of talked about, I said, I've got to put a bet down on how long it takes either the junior volunteers or some of the younger kids to braid his hair by the end of camp. Because I know, Amber can attest here, the bows go everywhere, guys end up with bows in their hair, things like that, and I'm like, some of these younger girls are gonna be like, oh, we could braid it, it's long enough too. So, yeah, that's, poor Creed. He's being broken in right, isn't he? I'm gonna scare him away before we even start. So, I am glad, out of the people that have volunteered this year, and this is, I'm talking kind of to my junior volunteers right here. You guys, I know you guys know this because you've been a part of camp before, so we've had some in the past I've had to preach this to, but you guys understand what we're here for, that it's not a social hour. We're here for the kids. You guys have been on that end of it, now you get to be on the flip side of it, so just keeping that in mind. Like I said, I know the group that we have coming in, so I'm not worried about it this year. So if you guys are in a sport or in an area that you have downtime, like a registration crew, when they check everybody in after they do their paperwork and stuff, then they have a little time where they're a little downtime. I want to encourage anybody that has that to take pictures, videos, walking around, post it to our Facebook page if you have Facebook. You can get it to Kim and Ashley if they'll collect some of that stuff for us to put together our recap video if you guys get some of those things. But just something that will communicate it out to the community. That and the parents, obviously, they all come to that page to see all the fun stuff we do throughout the week. So if you guys have downtime, and please take those pictures. Now, there may be some people that can't have their picture taken. If we will let you know of that, so that will be made aware. But typically, if that happens, it's only one or two, and we make everybody on these teams aware of that. So, But please do, because we have parents that ask for it. I've had people for the last year checking, are we having camp? Are you doing it next year? Are you doing it? I mean, they're on there all the time. So I'm like, they're on there a lot more than I am. I almost feel bad sometimes, but please share what you are doing with these kids and the things you see and are a part of, because they want to see their kids having fun and being here. So, all righty. Any questions now? No. Either. Okay. Another thing I said on dinner, it'll be done at 4:55, so we stop serving. If you have children that are being checked in for childcare, do not check them in before 4:45. Take them to dinner with you. We will not have people available for your kids until 4:45. They will be in there getting ready about 4:30, 4:45, but you can't just go and drop them in there and leave. No, feed them. They have to go to dinner with you. That is not drop them off and then go eat. So if you have kids coming to childcare, same with kids that are coming to Team 45. Team 45 check-in is going to be a little bit different than years past. So obviously this year we only offered it to those kids whose parents are volunteering. So they will be with you for dinner. They will be with you through the huddle when we come together at 5:15. And then you will check them in here in Space Adventure after the huddle with the Team 45 group. So they won't go through the main registration doors. They will stay in here, come with you, stay in here, and this is where you will pick them up as well. So if there's any questions on that, please let me know. Oh, is that Captain? I see a doggy on one of those. After you guys check in through what door? You come in, you get your name tag. They will be here on these hooks. Every night, get your name tag. On Sunday, the day before camp starts, and Monday, we will have your t-shirts to pick up. So we wear them every night. Wash them, especially if you're in an outdoor sport. If you would like a second t-shirt, Aaron's gonna be like, Sean, you didn't tell me this. I have some on my own that I can do. If you would like a second t-shirt because you don't think you will wash it, let me know. You would have to purchase that one though, and that will be through me because I have enough of the prints for when I was testing it. So it may be a little off, but it'll be enough. So, but that would have to be one that you would purchase for $6. So I know that sometimes it just gets to be too much, but I've had people ask and buy them in the past. I figured I should tell everybody that you can do that. So.
There was a question in the chat box about
Yes.
the kids needing stickers. Like, do you want to talk about the different age groups needing stickers?
That would be when I get to registration.
Do you want to repeat that question so they can hear it? With the stickers?
Well, and is it in the chat?
Yeah, Mike and Keegan Jakes are asking about stickers for the kids that are getting checked in.
When kids get checked in, and someone asked about kids being checked in and they get stickers. Everybody will have a name tag. When the kids come in, they will get their stickers that show their sport and their name every night when they check in. That will be the same for Team 45. We'll have stickers for you guys, and Team 45 will have red wristbands. So if for some reason a kid goes running around that has a red wristband, they need to be brought back here. So it has happened before where they want to be a part of the big kid sports. And they're like, I want to shoot basketballs and stuff like that, and you will find them mixed in with them. No, I mean, they haven't gotten that far, but yes, Team 45ers, which are 4 and 5-year-olds, will have their own special wristbands. And on that note, the kids that have an allergy will have a special wristband. So if you see a camouflaged wristband, know that they have an allergy, and that allergy will be listed on their name tag as well. So you are aware of what it is. So I hope, did that answer your question? Please let us know in the chat. Let me see to what else. No, I did that. See, I'm actually not skipping over everything this year. That's a good thing. I told you guys about, okay, wristbands, everybody check in, same, except for it's gonna be outside. We do not enter through door A, only if you're checking in a kid, and then you go to door B. What door is the dinner, like the gym doors? I can't remember. I think that's J, and I don't know. I'll have to go out and check. Eat dinner, in and out through the north doors. Okay, at this point, I would like to introduce our head coaches of our sports. So some of them are here with us. I know some are on Zoom, so we won't necessarily all get to see each other, but I will put the names out there so you will be familiar with everybody. Team 45, Miss Heidi Miller is going to head up our 4- and 5-year-olds again. Thank you very much. They will be meeting in here. This is going to be their space, and then they will go outside and they will be up near around this front corner. So again, sorry for y'all on Zoom that can't see everything that I'm doing here. So for cheerleading and dance this year, we have yet again the wonderful Keegan Jakes and all of her energy will be leading up our girls in cheer, and she is on Zoom right now. The cheerleaders meet in the parking lot up front, in front of the church. So basketball, we have some new coaches this year. I'm not sure if they made it to Zoom, they were camping, but this year we have Damon and Angie Hummel that'll be taking care of that. They are both athletes and coaches and things like, just send them out. I just said, go, here's a book. I'm not even gonna have to give you any instruction. Y'all are good. So you can do it a lot better than anything I could do. So we are very excited to have them. Soccer, we have Creed Roshik, and he is going to have a co-coach whose name is Rafael Ferreira, and he is on Zoom with us tonight. Another one of the kids that plays, I should say kids. I mean, you guys are kids to me, but they're our soccer family, so you know they're our kids. But Rafa will be assisting Creed as well in the soccer realm out there. So they are both new to this, but they are both going to do outstanding. And I have his brother, I know Rafa's brother and sister, and I think 3 or 4 others, Bella, Nate, we have 3 or 4 others that are coming from our kids soccer teams, and these are freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors, and then there'll be a few adults out there as well. But the soccer crew is going to be a great place to be. Let me just say, these kids that are coming in, I've just been praying that some of them could be a part of this for the years we've been involved in soccer, so I'm very glad to have you guys that are on Zoom with us and that are here that'll be out there. So I'm really excited for that, because just seeing that come to pass. So thank you for stepping up and joining in this fun. So you guys they are out back here, and like Team 45's over here. They were in the back here. Dodgeball. Mr. Aaron Enbrook will be leading dodgeball. Yes, that is a sport, and he plays on some like national. Yeah, but he still did. I mean, I didn't even know that was legitimately a sport. And so I was like, oh, well, we have a pro here that can actually coach this too. So between him and Josh Schwartz, they are going to tackle in the back half of the building. So, oh yeah, you can turn that off, please. You're my spot back there. Our head coaches that will be leading, taking care of them, not that what y'all are doing isn't important, because feeding into these kids is, but Hannah and Ross Sergio, who have led from the stage the last few years, are going to be doing it yet again this year. And so we're excited to see what they bring. I don't think there's going to be a character this year though. So, but that doesn't mean that Ross doesn't have something, amazing that's going to come to play in this. So we're excited. I know they're on Zoom. So thank you guys for taking on that role again this year. And then I want to introduce who of the group is here, our dance team. If they could stand up, because I see 3 of them. Yeah, you have to stand. So Bella, Emma, and Caitlin. We are missing 2, Kayla and Kenna, and all 5 of these girls have been campers many years, and then they graduated up to being junior volunteers, and then they have graduated up to being on the stage leading the kids in the songs and dances that we will be doing. So Kenna and Kayla, who aren't here, Kenna's actually graduating tonight. Actually, both of them are. Kayla is too, Penn is as well. So that's why they aren't present and they aren't on Zoom. So I couldn't get them to break away from taking the diploma to come and hang out with us. But I just, it's a great thing to see from the start and how they have grown up in this and are an example and a role model. I don't know, my daughter may not be the best one sometimes. Oh, she knows it. She knows it. I love you. Yes, but no, I'm just very excited to be able to have those roles filled by people, the kids that have been through this, and it just shows what, yes, you can sit down now. So, and Kenna and Kayla have come back. They weren't sure they'd be able to do it, but this year they are coming back as being this would be their last year to do this because they go off to college and they know they won't do this probably in the future, at least not for quite a while. And I don't know if we'll be doing, I won't be probably by the time they come back, but yeah, so it's exciting to see just having that and having them come back for that last year and to be a part of this because they work and they're getting ready to go off to school and all those things. So yeah, just maybe a little sentimental here. So I actually already talked about the coaches huddle. One thing I do want to ask everybody to do, and you can get it from this or I will email it out, is looking at the memory verse. So this year's verse is 1 Peter 5, 6, and 7. And that is, humble yourself under the mighty hand of God, and in due time he will lift you up. Cast all your anxieties or cares on him because he cares for you. The kids are gonna be challenged to learn this week, and they get any time could come up to you and say, I wanna say my memory verse to get their memory verse pin. So you have to know it as well. So please be reading over that through this week and the week of camp so that you have that also on your mind and can be able to help the kids and share with them in that respect. So on that note, before I pass it over, anybody have any questions? Anything in the chat that I need to address that you saw?
You can dodge the wrench, you can dodgeball.
Someone said that? I'm glad that Aaron's leading that one, but.
I do have, and you already addressed it, I'm sorry, where you're going to with the t-shirts and keeping an eye out for any t-shirt that doesn't match.
That is coming. So, but thank you. Before I get to that, I am going to ask Mr. Aaron Enbrecht to come up here and go over the policies and procedures for our children's ministry here and make sure we're all in line on all those pieces of info. So,
you know, I'm really disappointed. I actually had a wrench in my bag, and I took it out before I came in here. So I definitely could have had that. Hey, before I get going, can we just take a minute to recognize Sean? And this is a massive undertaking. I just think about the changes that you've made from past years to this year, and I'm like, ooh, but the whole thing is just massive. So it's really impressive. All right.
I can't do it without y'all. Trust me.
So some of this stuff, the materials I'm going to share with you guys is geared towards children's ministry, but a lot of it applies. I've cut out some stuff, like I don't think diaper changing is going to be required, so hopefully I don't have to deal with that. But our purpose, and I think our purpose here is the same as it is for sports camp, to provide a safe and loving environment for our children to encounter the love of Jesus. Let me say that again. To provide a safe and loving environment for our children to encounter the love of Jesus. And I think that we can do that and keep in mind the fact that we are responsible to a number of different entities or people. So first of all, we're responsible to God, and that's first and foremost. But we're also responsible to children and their parents. You know, when they drop their kids off here, they are putting us in charge of taking care of them. And in essence, we are their parents away from home. So we need to remember that. We are responsible to the mission of Epic Church. Something to keep in mind there, living in and living out God's love. We are responsible to myself and to Sean. You guys are responsible to us in the fact that you're here in the evening. And then also we're responsible to each other, other volunteers. When we drop the ball on something, other people have to pick it up. And I think you guys know that, but it's something to keep in mind. So again, Sean has said it many times, thank you for volunteering. But many hands make light work. It's so much easier when you have a ton of volunteers. And I'll mention this too, Sean said, we almost have a 1-to-1 ratio between volunteers and campers. So not all here at the same time, probably different nights.
Right, but.
So here's some of the responsibilities that we talk about with children's ministry. praying for our children in our classroom. In this case, it would be praying for the kids in our area. You know, whether it's dodgeball or your Team 45 or you're serving in the kitchen, pray for the kids that you see and that you interact with. Pray before, during, after. There are going to be lots of opportunities for spiritual conversations, and they're going to be thinking about not just the sports and stuff that goes on here, but about the content that they're hearing and all the positive message of Jesus that they're experiencing this week. So make sure you're praying for the kids. Make sure that you have all information into Sean that is needed to get in. I think I checked the final box tonight, Sean, so I'm good to go on that. And then I don't know how I missed that.
You think she's
Sure.
the first one that registered it online?
I thought I was. I thought I got in
I
and
did.
I
Why's
checked
my name
off.
not on the list? I'm like, "Didn't register."
And then when I actually saw the registration, I'm like, oh, I definitely have not seen this.
Like, way to go, children's basketball. I knew you'd be here, so.
Thank you. So I'm trying to read through this. If you guys have any questions, obviously send them to Sean. If you have questions about policy or procedure, send them to myself. Again, I'm Aaron Ingbrecht. My wife and I are in charge of the children's ministry here at Epic. And so I know in the last year, it's been kind of like hit or miss, more miss than hit when we're here for children's ministry. But yeah, you guys are going through the training right now. We require that for all volunteers in our children's ministry as well. And let me move to the next slide here. Safety and identification. All right. So it is the expectation that we wear our shirts.
Yes.
Hopefully they don't stink too bad. So if you're running around, you know, I recommend what Sean says: wash them, or buy a second or third or fourth one, whatever you need. Right? Yeah. Whatever you need to make happen. Make sure you guys check in. That's huge for us to be able to go back to know who was here and who wasn't here. It has to be done. And there's nobody that we will do our best to make sure that people check in, but ultimately it rests on your responsibility. So make sure you guys check in. And then name tags as well. Are we gonna have stickers or lanyards?
We have
lanyards. All right. So make sure you guys have those two. That helps with identification. Even if you have the shirt on, just to have a lanyard, it helps to identify people really fast. And from a logistical point, it is very helpful.
You know what? I will jump in really quick. Thing Carly brought up that I have to come say later, but I'll just say it right now. The shirts. If you see a shirt that is not matching the camper shirts, well, some of the campers don't always wear theirs, so that one's a little bit. If you see an adult that does not have on the shirt that we provide, then you need to bring that to our attention, myself or Carlene's, immediately. So that is where the safety measures, that's why we provide those, so we know, so the parents know that they're leaving their kids with people that are, you know, we've got their safety is number one. So if you see that, please let us know so we can address that pronto.
Yeah, and the shirts are going to be a dark charcoal with a orange screen print. It says Epic Volunteer in the back. It says Off the Bench, the logo on the front. They're pretty easily identifiable.
Yeah.
It would be hard to find another shirt that's kind of that charcoal and orange combo. But,
Kids will be in orange shirts, and then we
Yeah.
got the charcoal shirts.
yeah,
So.
it's kind of a reverse deal.
Can I say one thing?
Yep.
I know some of these things, and if you guys on Zoom hopefully can hear this as well, it may sound like we're being really particular about things, but there's reasons for all of it. It's not just us being like extra super OCD about things, although we are. Some of it is insurance reasons that we're actually required to do this by an insurance company that we use. The other part of it is obviously safety is our first priority. And so they may feel like a lot of nitty gritty things, but every single one of these is extremely important and we need your help with that. So from the checking in to making sure that you sign up, to your t-shirt, to the lanyard, to reporting any adult that doesn't have a t-shirt, all of that is super important to us.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It keeps us safe. It keeps the kids safe. It makes a better environment for everybody.
Thank you guys.
People are coming from our community. They're not all Epic kids. So we have to remember that 70% of these kids, actually this year it's 80% of the kids are from the community. Some have been here before and they're comfortable with us, but some have never stepped foot here, never stepped foot in a church. We just above reproach. Everything has to be on that, because some are like, I want to stay while my kid is here, and because they have that fear, and like, we have all these safety measures in place, and so that helps put them at ease too. So you have to think from different aspects outside of us who know each other, and put yourself in their shoes, so.
I'm just gonna click continue here. I clicked continue.
Okay, I don't know, she's the one running the recording
Oh.
over there. So I'm just,
All right.
I just had to put the screen in front of Jeremy's taking up full screen.
Yeah. We love you, Jeremy. You can't see his face, just
No.
everything else. And then there's a whole bunch of other faces in the middle.
He's the one who leads the Bible.
That's right. In children's ministry, we require that at least 2 volunteers are present with the children at all times. In other words, we don't ever want the kids to be alone with one volunteer. And I assume
Yes.
it's the same way with sports camp. So if you're ever in a situation where all of a sudden you find yourself, you're like, why am I the only adult or volunteer in the room? Correct it right away. And there should be other people, just grab somebody, but don't let that happen, okay?
It's very hard pressed at camp for that to happen,
Yeah.
just because there's a lot of people milling around in between their sports, or if their area is not involved in at a certain moment in time. We all try to spread out so that when kids have to go to the bathroom, like 2 adults don't have to leave from their group. They can find an adult along the way. Because by the time you get from outside to inside, the transition, you have people there around you. So shouldn't be a problem ever, but if it is, make sure you get another volunteer with you.
Yeah, and in Team 45, if you find yourself the only person in the classroom and somebody's trying to check in their child, you could just have the parent hang around for a bit too. That's something that we do in children's ministry. You guys already know that. Let's see here. Other things to keep in mind, I can skip past diaper changes. Restroom needs, all right? So if there's a restroom need, what we do in children's ministry is we coordinate with somebody in registration. Now, do we have somebody that's floating?
Yes,
That's checking in?
those floaters will also be available if a kid needs to go to the bathroom. Just say, hey, come with me. So we have 2 involved.
Yeah.
As far as one at the door.
Well, typically we say check the restroom first to make sure there's not just a random adult in there, which there shouldn't be any random adults here anyways.
Right.
On a Sunday, there's other people in the building, but during sports camp, there shouldn't be any issues with random adults, but we want to make sure that the bathroom is secure for kids to be able to go in and be okay. Depending on the age, we've got, how old are our oldest kids? 5th grade, 12 years old. They probably, a lot of them probably wouldn't be comfortable with an adult coming into the bathroom with them or standing at the door. And so, checking out the bathroom, making sure that it's okay kind of eliminates that issue right off the bat. But we do think it's important to have an adult stay at the doorway to make sure that there's not any other just weird things happening. You can hear a lot. I'm a high school teacher. I walk past the bathrooms in the hallways. I hear a lot of random stuff come out of the bathroom. So you can learn a lot of stuff when you're standing at the entrance to a bathroom. Things that you don't want to know. The goal for bathroom is to allow kids to go by themselves to the bathroom. If there's some odd situation, especially with the younger kids, where they need assistance, again, I've been in that situation. I like to have an adult come in with me. I don't ever want an instance where there's any sort of confusion or somebody saying, well, that maybe appeared sketchy. We want to stay way above that line. And so again, the goal is for them to go by themselves, but if you need a second adult just to kind of be there as a second set of eyes, that's the best choice. Let's see. There's a note on here too, never allow more than 1 child in a stall at a time. I would say maybe the only exception would be is if it's a sibling and the younger child is specifically asking for their sibling.
They need help first.
Even then, there should be an adult present because we don't know family situations, and so.
And I would actually steer away from that even because those 2 age groups shouldn't be. Even with siblings probably won't be in the same place at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right, unless odd random kids.
Unless
Yeah.
odd things happen.
Yeah. But the best case is them going by themselves. All right. Discipline. All right. This is a fun one to talk about. So again, the goal is a safe and loving environment, but we know that, you know, sometimes there's pushback in areas. But our goal is to live out God's love. So if there's a disruption or any kind of issue, here's like a mindset to put on to think through, okay? So children are expected to treat others kindly and follow directions. We get that, right? If this isn't the case, there's some steps. So verbally remind the child of expectations. Hey, this is what we're doing. This is in a positive way. This is what we're doing right now. Number two, if you need to, you can remove the child from the situation, not from like the field and send them over by the road to sit. No, that's terrible.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I was trying to think of the worst place you could possibly put them. But if you need to remove them from a situation where they're involved with other kids, just pull them to the side and have a quiet conversation with them. You know, give them a chance to calm down. Some of this stuff is like kind of common sense stuff, but it's good to think through. Number three, if the child continues to be disruptive, then he or she will need to either sit out the activity or just kind of have an extended cool down time. And at this point, when typically on Sundays, if there's continued disruption, we try to pull in the parent. Now, the parent may or may not be here, depending on if they're a volunteer or if they're somebody from the outside. But if it continues to escalate, then we do need to get Sean involved. And she will step in. She's got contact information if she needs to make that call. And if we get through all that, and you know there's still trouble, I want to remind you guys, we are never ever to spank or hit or grab or shake any child. There should never be any form of physical altercation. Now, the difficult part is what happens if we have a child who is being physically disruptive to other kids? You know, I am a person that would say I will volunteer to step in the way and try to protect myself, to be that physical barrier. But at that point, you have to use your best judgment possible. I don't think that I can adequately coach you through any sort of like techniques or moves. We're not getting into that, okay? No moves, right? No physical. You're also never to emotionally harm. So no humiliating, degrading, threatening, or name calling. And the thing with sports is, I've been plugged in with a lot of different sports ministries over the years, and it's easy when you're doing something physically active. If somebody doesn't meet a standard, or if they do something, oh, you got to give us 10 push-ups. That's a tricky one, and it's a dangerous one, and it's not a good call. Okay, even any kind of punishment, or punishment seems harsh, but anything that causes them to that, I mean, that could be physically difficult for them. It could be emotionally difficult if they're not able to complete it. So just be cautious, be loving, and let's hope and pray that we don't have to encounter a terribly difficult situation. But in the event that it does and it continues to escalate, we got to find Sean. All right, and hopefully there's enough adults here to address that. Illness or injury. So children or volunteers, don't come to sports camp if you have fever, undiagnosed rashes, diarrhea, impetigo, and conjunctivitis, which is pink eye. Any other symptoms on the list?
Doesn't that cover most everything at this point?
I think so. You know, with our current health situation, probably persistent coughing, use your better judgment on that. If it's allergies, I've got allergies on and off all the time. So you guys know yourselves, you know your body. If you see a kid who you think might be struggling, that's something to look into. Sean, are we going to be doing temperature checks?
Yes.
Okay, we've got them here.
Registration.
Awesome. So we do that in children's ministry. We'll be doing those as kids check in. But if something changed throughout the night, let's be smart about it.
We'll have nurses
Nice.
around. One will be camped out in the corner in the connection center with her first aid kit and her cooler full of ice packs. So, but we will have other people that are trained in the medical field be around. They may be in a sport. She will be the most centrally located one in the connection center, but we will have other people here as well. So.
But she'll frequently check in on Dodgeball.
Well, you have Matt Zimmerman, and he's the paramedic that
Nice,
is,
perfect,
he's one of your guys. So I put one there on purpose.
All right, we're gonna have a stretcher just waiting.
They only have 10 or 12 kids in Dodgeball, but that's still the most scary area.
It's gonna be a ferocious
Adults get
crew.
more involved than kids.
Any injury that requires more than a Band-Aid should be documented. I think that it's important to write down who the injury was, when it happened, how it happened. We need to record that. Where do I record? Just type it on your phone or ask for a piece of paper, write it down so that you remember it. Documentation is important, especially if a parent says, how did this happen? When did it happen? A lot of parents want to know. So make sure that we do that. And we'll inform Sean of any injury that happens to make sure that she knows of it. If there's a fire or other type of emergency, make sure that you have all campers or people in your group with you. For children's ministries, we say make sure you have the attendance sheet, but there's not necessarily an attendance sheet in each area.
Not in each area.
Right.
Where we'd gather all together away from the building, sit down, and we would bring the sheets and have to kind of do it.
The areas that we have talked about with children's ministry is not to take them towards the parking lot because there's lots of cars out there. We've said to go out into this field where it's more open, away. Anytime you get kids and cars together, that's the whole issue. So I think it's good. Now, if you have to exit that side of the building, you can go around, walk around the other side. If there's a gale force wind, 40 miles an hour, it's blowing smoke and ash that way, go north. Just go around it. So, yes. But try to go to the grassy fields and stay out of the parking lot.
And we do have an evacuation plan if we have bad weather or anything like that, where everybody will have areas they're assigned to where we have tornado warnings or something like that. So those will be posted around the building. And then
in the event that there is something, an emergency, you have to get out of the building. Remember, some of the doors we lock. And so it's just, are we going to have these doors locked in here when there's Team 45 or not? For children's ministry, like the one,
they will be.
Entrance B.
Yes.
So it's just a
where
twist.
You check in.
Yeah. If you're an inside person, especially in this area, Team 45, that's the door that you would need to unlock. All right, my last thing is just, again, thank you guys for serving. Again, I know that this camp is fun, so much fun for the kids. And the week is always a success because of what you guys put into it. So thank you guys.
Yes. Thanks, Aaron.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Aaron. All righty. So I had thought we might have a few more bodies present. I know life happens, so some people I know have logged in on Zoom, which I appreciate. And I see a lot of comments on here about Dodgeball. Matt Zimmerman, yes, you are. I want to have someone on a medical team in that area. So, yeah, you're there. So I was going to have you guys break down and meet your group. I will still tell you where you can kind of go so you can get a quick familiar face with some other people you'll be serving with. But before I do that, because once we do that, I'm going to release you guys for the night. I want you to go ahead. You can talk for a few minutes, and then I know some have people picking them up and things like that. But I'm going to pray first, and then I will tell you all where you can go to meet the people you're working with, and we'll go on about our evening. So, Father God, I just thank you and I praise you, Jesus. I thank you so much for bringing everyone together tonight, whether in person or via Zoom, Father God. Just thank you for preparing our hearts for the week of camp coming up. Father, I thank you and I praise you, Jesus, so much for the hearts of these volunteers and them giving up their time to be able to serve you and live out your love with the children in this area, Father. Father, I thank you and I praise you that you are working the hearts of the kids and preparing them, as well as all of us, to be able to receive what you want us to receive the week of camp. Father God, I just thank you and I praise you for the relationships that are going to be built. Father, I thank you and I praise you for beautiful, beautiful, amazing weather that will be perfect for us all week long. We thank you for safety, and we thank you just for the hearts of everyone that is involved. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, on that note, if you saw your sport, everybody saw where you were gonna be assigned, per se, out there? All right, I'm gonna have all my sports, dodgeball, soccer, and basketball. If you are in one of those, I want you to come to this side of the room, okay? Because I don't know how many of them are here. So if you are in cheer, well, Keegan, sorry, you're not here. I was giving you your own private room, but I can't hear you, but you can type. She has me muted, or you guys all muted. So if you're in cheer, I'm gonna have you go to this back dark room really quick. Just, you're in cheer. Just so you can get familiar with the faces. If you're in registration, come on up here. If I listed you as childcare or another sport, go to the other area, not childcare. So if you're in cheer, go ahead and head back there. Our food, I think you two are the only two, Heather and Nancy right now. Team 45. Well, I guess that is all. Hold on just a second. You are with Miss Heidi. So, you were, yes.
Will assignments be sent out for those that are on Zoom so they know where they're gonna be at?
Yes, I will be emailing this to everybody, so you will be able to see where you guys are all assigned. Most everybody is where they might have signed up to be, but I know some people picked quite a few. So I will send that out tonight, so be watching, and if you have any questions on it, please let me know. So, any other questions on Zoom that I need to address?
I think you got it.
Okay. All right. I will email you guys. If you have questions, reach out to me, let me know. I'm going to release all my Zoomers. Thank you so much for coming tonight. And you'll be up, see you guys in a week. So, bye. Okay, I'm sitting away from my